If you enjoy what we do here, you should definitely check out youtube.com/@MWPNewsGaming. It's our new YouTube channel where we do basically talking like this while also playing video games, old games, older games. We'd like to do new games, but those cost money. So old games, older games, retro games, forgotten games, all kinds of games. While I talk about it, get frustrated, all that kind of cool stuff. We talk about, movies, TV shows, anything like that. YouTube.com/@MWP News Gaming. Please be sure you subscribe. That'll help us out a lot. And if you feel like we're doing a good job, please donate. co-fi.com/MWP News. Thank you and enjoy this episode. Good evening and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam on this Friday, June 6th. We have just seen The Phoenician Scheme, the new Wes Anderson movie. And you know me, Wes Anderson puts out a new movie, I'll show up and watch it. Especially in this, post-Isle of Dogs era. I will, still haven't seen Isle of Dogs, I don't think. But either way, we've been here for the French Dispatch, we've been here for, what was the other one? Asteroid City, and now we have the Phoenician Scheme, which is a little bit of a departure. It's more of a, I don't even want to call it a thriller, because I don't know how to properly define a Wes Anderson movie, because, it's kind of and this is going to sound dismissive, but, when we talk about, Marvel's comic book movies, we talk about, they're not really thrillers, they're not really science fiction, they're not really, they're science fiction kind of broadly, but, they're not really, espionage movies. They're kind of a flavored seltzer kind of thing, where it's it's still a seltzer water, but at the end of the day, you're kind of just, the same thing. That's not dismissing it, but every Wes Anderson movie is fundamentally first and foremost a Wes Anderson movie, and then it's just with the flavoring of whatever subgenre it's in. So this is kind of more of a historical, I would say espionage kind of is probably the closest. You have the story of this guy. He's a industrialist who's trying to, do something that's not really clearly defined. I think he's just trying to control all the mineral rights in a region by building up railroads and building up power plants, stuff like that, and all the while taking control of their sovereignty. And that's kind of what the entire movie's about, is this guy trying to do that. And I think that all of that kind of works pretty well. I'll say, of the three Wes Anderson movies that I just talked about, which are the three post-Isle of Dogs, I think this is probably my least favorite of them. Let's just say three live action movies, since Grand Budapest Hotel. I think this is my least favorite of them. I'm not saying it's bad, and I think that it works very well. The comedic elements land so well. I love the way the world is built out. Again, he knows how to compose a shot. The cinematography is as you would expect. Everything about it is just great. I think there's a lot of dead time, though. And what I mean by that is this movie spends a lot of time doing things that really don't matter in the long term toward the story and all that. And I think that one of the things that really struck me is the movie's an hour and 40 minutes, which is not terribly long. But as I'm watching, there's definitely room to cut, because there's a whole sequence that happens where he is the plane crashes and they're in the jungle, and it's him and his daughter, and it's Michael Cera, and they're in the jungle, and I'm I don't really need this to go on as long as it does. You can cut that. There's a lot of time where this could have been trimmed back a little bit and been a little stronger, and I think that's kind of where I am on this entire movie. It's a really fun, interesting core idea. And I think it's executed mostly well. I think they just go a little long in the tooth in getting you across that finish line. Because, like, I don't know how else to describe it. There's a reveal that the character's a double agent. And it happens relatively late in the movie. But at the same time, it's like, the time from that reveal to the reveal to everyone else feels like an eternity, but it's only like 5-10 minutes. And I think that's kind of what it is. Like, the entire time I'm watching it is, I'm just like, this movie feels longer than it is. And I don't think it's a pacing issue, or anything like that. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels longer than an hour and 45 minutes. And it didn't help that AMC is running, like, every trailer it possibly can beforehand, including this really weird, like, turn off your phone's PSA, but with Megan, like, Megan 2.0, and I'm like, I don't need this. So you're showing me the trailer already. Like, that was a trade-off for, like, Lilo and Stitch and like, Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, the trade-off was we weren't also seeing that trailer beforehand, but we're seeing the trailer for Megan 2.0, and then also having this PSA that's very weirdly animated, and it looks kind of weird. I don't remember in the original movie if her mouth moved as out of sync as it does in that thing. And I realized too when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, that girl who's the other killer robot is the feral Sith girl from Ahsoka, who was with Balin, whose name I'm forgetting. But yeah, the whole thing with this movie is that it's like the characters are fun enough, which is what you're looking for in this, and like Jeffrey Wright's great, and when he's got a very small role, but he shows up in a very memorable capacity, like, and that's everyone. It's like it's a great ensemble cast, and it's like you aren't taken out of it by like, oh, and here's Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks as brothers who are there. Michael Cera's doing this ridiculous accent, and it's just kind of hilarious the entire way through. Like, Mia Tripleton, I think is her name. Triplehorn? No, that's Janine Triplehorn. She's the lead, kind of the lead for the movie, because the movie is mostly about kind of her journey more than anything else that she's brought along on this magical mystery tour with her father. It's like she's great. I've never seen her in anything, but she's really good. I think she's gonna have a career coming up. And then Benicio del Toro is also really good. And I think that, like, that's the thing, is that it's like you're playing in the Wes Anderson sandbox, and you're doing a good job playing in the Wes Anderson sandbox. So what more are we looking for? They're doing exactly what they were setting out to do. So good for them. Like, congratulations on playing in the Wes Anderson sandbox well. But I'm not sure there's going to be anything from this movie that I'm going to step away from and remember in the way that, like, there are entire sequences from the French Dispatch that I remember. Like the whole thing with the cooking in that one, and the animated sequence at the end with the chase through the streets of Paris, or was that yeah, the opening even with Owen Wilson doing the travel bit, that that sticks with you after. Margot Robbie's little appearance in Asteroid City. Like, and I like, too, that, like, as we move into this phase of his career, he's getting more experimental with, like, the role of the narrator and the role of narration, because we have that a little bit in this movie, too. One of the recurring bits in this movie is whenever, I keep wanting to say Nelly Corda, but that's a golfer, Zaza Corda, who's the main character, Benicio del Toro, when he has these near-death experiences, he goes to heaven and he gets visions from heaven. And it's kind of like they call it the heavenly chorus, and it is the Greek chorus, like from Greek literature, and it's a really cool device they keep going back to. I think they do a great job with that. But like, and we saw that a little bit with Asteroid City, where you know, we keep breaking, and it's like, oh, the entirety of Asteroid City is a play. And we're watching this play unfold, and we're watching behind the scenes of this play as it unfolds. And that's why you get that moment at the end where it's like, you know, what was it? He goes off and he's like, the scene doesn't make sense. And he goes, it doesn't matter, it doesn't make sense. Just keep playing. And that's, that's something that sticks with you. I don't think there's anything from the Phoenician Scheme that's going to stick with me beyond this. Maybe the hand grenade joke, because I think the hand grenade joke they do very well, and it comes back just enough times with just enough variation that it works every time it comes back. But I think that there's not too much in this movie that's gonna really stand and make me go like, oh, this is something I'm gonna remember years from now. And I think that's the second movie this week, because we talked about it a little bit with Ballerina, the idea that you leave John Wick and there are action sequences that you remember, and it was the same thing there, where it's I don't think there's any action sequence in Ballerina that I'm gonna be like, boom, this is a sequence I'm gonna look up on YouTube just to watch this one sequence. Maybe the one with the flamethrowers, but it's a little short. Or maybe the one at the aggro crag from Nickelodeon Guts. But I don't think that there's anything there. And that's kind of the same boat I'm in with this. This idea that, I don't think there's anything from this movie that's going to stand out as anything special beyond what it already is. And I did appreciate this movie. I did like it. I would recommend everyone see it, because, again, it's, even this isn't a bad movie, and this isn't a bad Wes Anderson movie either. It's I would still say it's serviceable enough, but I don't think it's it's necessarily just do whatever you want, buddy. Just go wherever you want. Oh, okay, that's why you just get to cross 4 lanes of traffic. I don't want even if Wes Anderson did make a bad movie, I think even a bad Wes Anderson movie is still better than, an okay movie from a director who's not him. Because he can frame a shot, and he can elicit a performance. These are all actors that we've seen do other things, and to get them into this mindset and into the cadence and the what you would come to expect from him, that's a skill, and I think that he does that very well. He can get the exact performance you want out of these characters. So look, I would recommend seeing this movie. I think it's good enough, even if some of the bits go on a little too long, and that could just be padding for the sake of getting the runtime up. There's the moment where he's I think the opening credit sequence goes on too long. I don't need an opening credit sequence this long. It's just not, and I don't think it's visually interesting enough where it's it keeps going, as long as it does. There's the whole thing with the basketball sequence with Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks and then Riz Ahmed's there. That whole thing goes on way too long. That could have been cut down, and I think that would have been better off had they cut it down a little bit. And it's just little things like that all throughout this movie. It's if you trimmed it back, it would have worked a little bit better for me. But I think that if that's the biggest complaint I have, is that it's a little bit too long and it's a little bit weirdly paced in that regard. That's not a terrible thing. That's not a terrible place to leave this movie. But it's definitely entertaining. And it's definitely worth watching. And if you're a Wes Anderson fan, you'll enjoy it. And that's the thing, too, is that it's I said last year, 2 years ago, when we did Asteroid City, I said, I don't think this is a movie that's going to convert any new fans of Wes Anderson. And I think that at this point, I don't think any Wes Anderson movie is going to do that. I think that if you're watching this movie, you have bought into what this is. You know what you're getting into, and you've bought into it wholesale. The idea that this is going to bring over new people, it's you don't need to. It's the Wes Anderson fans are going to show up, and that was the thing, is that I went to see this movie, and it's you get the same people who show up. At this point, it's all the AMC A-list people in the area. But I look around and I'm I recognize you from the other times I go to movies like this. And these are the people who are going to show up every time. And that's, good. It's going to work out then for them. And by the way, I saw a few trailers before this movie that really kind of piqued my interest. I had not seen the trailer for a Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, or whatever the name of the movie is, with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie, and my God, that movie looks fantastic. And I think, too, it's like, there's a non-zero chance that Diego Luna ends up being a sleeper Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor nominee, if not winner. Because, like, I saw the trailer before this for, what was it, the Curse of the Spider-Woman, or the Web of the Spider-Woman, or whatever, the new movie with, what's her name, with Jennifer Lopez, that, according to the trailer, is getting a lot of acclaim. But, like, I see that trailer, and I see Diego Luna's in it, and he's this guy in prison. I'm like, there's a non-zero chance that this movie comes out and a lot of people see it and really like it, but also conflate his performance in Andor, because, like, it's not entirely dissimilar. So, you know, congratulations to him. I mean, I could see that happening. Again, way too early to say. It's like this movie. It's like, I could see this movie if we have a particularly, you know, I don't think Wes Anderson gets nominated for Best Director off the bat on this, because it's Wes Anderson doing Wes Anderson things, and he does that well. I want to try incorporating more sports terms into this, because, like, I feel like that's something that'll legitimize this kind of, like, commentary. But, like, he does what he does, and he does it well. So I don't think the Academy voters are going to be like, oh, well, it's, you know, it's nothing about this movie is spectacularly Wes Anderson. It's epitomally Wes Anderson, if that's a word. And I think that, like, that's not going to put him over the edge. And I also don't think that, like, again, like I said about the performances he elicits, he does a great job eliciting performances for a Wes Anderson movie, but they're very subdued performances, and it's very snappy line reads, and I don't think that's going to get anyone anywhere. If there was an Oscar category for best debut performance or best new performer, I think Mia Tripleton would definitely be a contender for that, because she's just phenomenal in this movie. So let's see, you know, what happens here. This is 4 stars. I would say definitely check this movie out. I would recommend seeing it in the theater. I don't think there's any need to rush out for it, though. This is one of those movies that, like, as we get into summer movie season, where we have, you know, How to Train Your Dragon, and Elio, and F1, Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, Superman. This feels like one of the adult movies that's kind of just going to be background radiation at your local movie theater for the duration of the summer. It's like this, Materialists, there's one other I can't really think, like, I saw it earlier when I was in the AMC app, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. That are just going to be, like, kind of the continuous background radiation movies of the year. So we'll see how that works out. But we'll wrap up there for today. Our next episode with a movie will be, or a theatrically released movie, will be next Wednesday. We'll be talking about How to Train Your Dragon. We're seeing that a day early. And then on Friday, we'll be talking about Materialists. The Materialists on Friday. Then after that, we also have Elio on the next Wednesday we'll be talking about. And then we also have F1 at some point. I don't remember what day that is. But we'll be covering all the big movies. Don't worry. F1 I'm actually very interested in, because, like, I love a good sports movie. Like, to the point that, like, I was talking to someone at work about it today, and it's like, Creed is such a fucking great movie. I love Creed. But even, like, Creed 3 was great, too. And it got to the point that, like, I'm watching the F1 trailer, and I'm like, there was a point where I left a movie theater watching Gran Turismo, and I blew that movie after the fact, and I'm like, God damn, we're gonna starve for good sports movies. So that movie was kind of okay, but that's it. Like, the idea that, like, that was gonna be the thing that's gonna do it. It's like, I see this movie, and it's like, you know, Brad Pitt and Kerry Condon, like, are just gonna carry this movie in a way. And I think that Joseph Kosinski, that, I don't think that's, is it Kosinski? Am I thinking of Ted Kosinski? Isn't that the Unabomber? I don't know. The guy who did Top Gun Maverick, he knows how to compose a scene with these, with the sound as well as it is, and I think this is a movie that's going to really nail that. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. But yeah, we will. I think Carrie Condon also is reprising her role in Vision as the human version of Friday. Because that's the big news of the week has been all the people who are coming in for that, because it's just Android Palooza over there. Like, it's just, you got, Paul Bettany's there, Carrie Condon's there. I forgot they cast someone famous as Friday. Oh no, as Edith, which is the one from No Way Home or Far From Home. Joe Casta's in the movie. James Spader's coming back as Ultron. Like, give it to me. That's a show that's coming up. I forgot. Ironheart. We're like a week and a half away. Isn't it next week or the week after? We have Ironheart. That's coming back. We will be covering Ironheart on a weekly basis. I totally forgot about that. And over on Exploring Hyperspace Lanes, I promise we will do, at some point, we will do the Tales of the Underworld. I keep forgetting to do it. I keep getting sidetracked. I keep forgetting to watch. We will do Tales of the Underworld, and that will be over on Exploring Hyperspace Lanes, as was all of our reviews of Andor. All Star Wars shows and movies are over there. We may, and starting in we're only a few months away from starting our rewatch of of The Mandalorian, because we're getting close to The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we will wrap up there for today, and until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.